A couple of days can make, huh? Christmas Eve, yeah, that day, noonish, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, completely green. You can see all the grass, absolutely no snow to be seen anywhere for the first time. Is that right? Am I telling the truth? Is that right, Yoki? Yeah. Completely green, some 72 hours later. Car's up on the ramps and the jack stands, as you can see, and we'll have a kick at replacing the exhaust parts here. I'll give you guys the I'll give you a quick look at the receipt later and give you the part numbers and stuff. And as I said, none too cheap, this system. So this is basically the back 2/3 of the SX4 exhaust system. For you guys who are maybe new to the channel, or maybe some people have been watching it for some time but never actually realized, appreciate guys, I have two of these SX4s, right? I have a Vitara and two SX4s. The SX4s look virtually identical. They're even the same color. So when you see a video, don't confuse it as the same car. There's the part number for the bolt and springs, bushings, washer and nut that attach the flange just after the intermediate pipe. There's the part number. These are Walker part numbers, available just about any decent auto supply house, I think. Walker part number for the that's a cast lead gasket, shall we call it. And yeah, this is the one that comes with the Bosal kit. Bosal actually provides you, if you buy their aft catalytic, you get this clamp because it's a two-part. So you get clamp, and it comes with this sintered lead, it looks like. I'm not sure. Maybe perhaps that's no red lead. Perhaps that's a lead alternative, but I'm not going to chew on it to find out, I can tell you that much. Part number for the clamp that goes between the pipe and the muffler assembly, just forward of the muffler, if you will. There's the part number there. So that was about $35. That's not cheap, that clamp. I don't know how they can justify that, but these were, I think, $5 each, maybe $10 for that. And damn straight they included this because it's the. Let me take you over to there. So the aft catalytic, two-part assembly. I'll give you the part number at the closing and the detail. I think the factory one is actually one piece, but probably for shipping purposes this is in two pieces, of course. That's why they have the clamp. There's the flange there where the muffler actually attaches. Again, I'll show you the part number for this before we close out. So there's one of the hangers for the muffler there, guys. The opposite side there. Give them a spritz of WD-40 to make them come off a wee bit easier. As you can see, my ground clearance between the and as you can see, this is not hanging on anything. Temporary piece of wire, you hold it there, obviously. Yeah, so that's the forward flange. So I'll just undo these. I'm not going to be able to film this while I do it, guys, but you can see the bolt, spring, and the nut there, and what's left of the gasket is in between there. And of course the issue is, as you can see, there's what's left of the hanger. Yeah, I suppose I could have tried and welded something on, but you know, just got a bit tired of that, you know. Plan on keeping this for a wee while longer, so hangers are going on both sides, and so there's nothing actually supporting this. So what will happen, of course, is because there's nothing supporting it, it will break the weld on the flange there, and nothing but grief, right? So it's going to be here, back, that's going to be done. You guys have heard me do a fair bit of bitching about Milwaukee tools, but I tell you, this M12 Sawzall, dandy for reluctant bolts on the exhaust system. Amazing. Okay, so this is the intermediate pipe I'm speaking of, guys. That's the flange, so this is where it's getting replaced aft. That flange is unsound between about 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock on here, but the rest of the weld up top, of course, it's going to rot on the bottom, of course, right? It seems sound enough, so I'll leave it for the meantime. If I was really keen, I suppose I could run a bead of weld on there, but it's really rusty and a mess. It's not going to make for a pretty weld, that's for certain. Here's the two hangers. Make sure they're sound, of course, attached. Fortunately, it rotted from the pipe side, not the structure side. And I would have had my little welder it, but yeah. So make sure you clean the remnants of, you know, this rubbish. Make sure you're cleaning all that off so that the new gasket's going to sit nicely on the pipe there. Okay, so the back 2/3 is all removed here, guys. Here's the Bosal aftermarket part. So I've got the hardware arranged so you can see where it actually all fits, the gasket, the spring bolts there. Obviously you can see the original. Unsurprisingly, the catalytic, the aft catalytic, is a wee bit smaller. The resonator is a MagnaFlow. For those that give a damn about name brands, who cares? I couldn't care less, to be quite honest. So here you can see the original is actually a single part, and I'm guessing for shipping purposes they've split this, but there is a decent, obviously it's flanged, or no flanged, but yeah, I guess flanged, stepped. The pipe is stepped so they'll fit together, and a nice beefy clamp to put together. So that's nice. For the money it better be. Wee bit different on the angle here. I hope that's not going to cause any grief, but I think it probably will come out in the wash because the angle on that side's a wee bit different as well. Right, the mufflers. One of the hangers is dropped off the mufflers there. You can see there's 3 hangers, and you can see that one is obviously missing. So this is why the whole system was unsound, just hanging there. But very credit where credit's due to the original. It's not that there's a hole in the pipe or anything. It's wee bit unsounded flanges, as you've seen, but not bad for 11 years old, I guess. And yeah, so very similar in size. I don't want this to be loud. I bought a Bosal way back in the day from a Tracker, Chevy Tracker, which is nothing more than a Vitara with a Chevy badge on it, and I wasn't happy with it because it was too loud. So I hope this doesn't disappoint. That MagnaFlow worries me a wee bit. So anyway, that's it, boys. Coffee time. Right, quick cup of coffee and a piece of Stollen German Christmas cake, fruit cake type thing. Amazing. If you don't know it, check it out. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Stollen. Okay, 2 things I forgot to mention. The clamp is whereabouts. Obviously, you can see the old one there hanging on the old installation. So it goes there, in case I didn't mention that. I may or may not have mentioned that, I don't recall. For the sticklers for detail, the original Suzuki installation actually has this small gasket. It does very little in reality, I think. In fact, when I bought it, the boys in Suzuki said, never sold one of them, you know, 2 decades later type thing. Well, a decade later anyway. There's the part number for the sticklers, and it fits actually right there where the 2 roll points actually come together. Just a wee touch of lube on the hanger points there, boys. Just a wee touch. Okay, so it's helpful to have another jack stand under here just to support the end of the pipe while you're trying to work it in the flange. Sorry about the shaky pipe work or camera work here, boys. There's not much clearance under here. So pipe's ready to go up. You can see the new gasket's in place. Make sure it's, as I said, all clean and sitting there nice and flush. You don't want to go through all this grief and have a leak at the coupling, of course. 2 hangers are actually there. Of course, they meet up with the 2 hangers there. Dead simple, just hang it in place. Spring bolts, fasten it together. Right, so this exhaust is expensive and claims to be direct fit. Well, if you want direct fit, go to the dealership and buy the original parts, right? Right, a couple of things you're going to have to watch out for. It might be direct fit on the 2-wheel drive model. The hanger bearing here, because this is a wee bit bigger than the original, it doesn't quite clear the hanger bearing. So as you can see, I've had to shave just a wee bit there to give us some clearance, because there's nothing worse than an exhaust clanking away on the bottom of your under tray, right? Bro. Drop the hangers a wee bit there, get the clearance as well. Just bent them as much as I dare. And yeah, so watch the clearance on the magnetic clutch on the rear diff here. That's not bad, that's pretty good actually. So it's the clamp cinched up again as tight as I dare before I'll actually shear the clamp. And I'll show you on the back side there. Because the hanger was missing, my previous exhaust system actually ate its way into the shroud. I'll show you that. I think I said the shroud. I'm actually talking about the rear valance here. That's what actually got me alarmed about this exhaust system, is the previous one was hanging and it actually cut its way right through here because there was so much movement in it. Yeah, I guess I should have actioned that quite some time ago, right? So all I've done is taken a file to it. It looked like a dog's breakfast before, but from the top side it's fine. You can't really tell, but I tried to contour it as best I could. I'm not real proud of that, but it's better than it looked like a dog was chewing on it before. So there's enough clearance there. I've cut the plastic a wee bit so it's not going to hit again, because there's nothing worse than when this moves, and it will move, of course, hitting something, right? So yeah, try and get the clamps positioned best you can, so obviously they're clear of the under tray, and they maximize the ground clearance as well, obviously, right? So I think that's about it, boys. Proof is in the pudding. Let's start it up. There's the muffler, a couple of clamps and bits and pieces, some hardware. That was $305 American. Again, some attached hardware. The catalytic converter. No, that's not on that one. The converter's on this one. Yeah, so anyway, $200 American, Canadian to ship it. So all ended up being about $1,100 Canadian all in. Yeah, so if you buy something for Rock Auto, they send you this wee hokey fridge magnets, and it's usually a car that I'm really not interested in, but for once, they've sent a beauty, right? 1970 Dodge Challenger, looks like an RT actually. First car I ever owned, 1973 Dodge Challenger, so very fond of the Challenger. There you go, boys, that's that running. A lot quieter than what it was, not bad. Not great, but not bad. That's it, good night, cheers.